So I am a new Dark Souls player, and for the past 3 months, I have been trying to beat Dark Souls 1 with the help of my friends, while getting griefed by my chat.
Oh my god.
I decided, instead of getting griefed, let's not, and let's actually fight a bunch of the boss fights because it's been 3 months and I just want to beat the game already. We had just finished Norlondo in the Painted World, and we killed 5 bosses in about 2 hours of playing, by far the best I've ever done. The first of which was Seath. The reason for this, I needed the Covenant of Artorias to traverse the Four Kings Abyss. She wasn't too bad, I first tried her, and after this we were on to the Four Kings. Now I had high hopes for the Four Kings. I was playing a Dex mode with a +5 Chaos Blade in hand, so I knew I had the damage. The issue was I didn't have the skill. I died way more to these bosses than I should have. My main issue was just knowing how far away they were. I'm sure we've all seen videos, but in game it feels a lot different. The range felt very long and the abyss felt like, well, an abyss. So I struggled knowing how close I was to the boss. Once I figured it out though, the hits were super easy to dodge, but after this the Four Kings went down in rapid succession and I felt a new sense of accomplishment. After trying to beat this game for so long, I had been fiending for these new bosses. Making these new playthroughs wasn't enough for me anymore. I needed the full experience. Just like you need the full experience of this channel, subscribe for more. Sorry. Anyway, after this, it was straight hell. And by hell, I meant catacombs. Oh, never mind. I forgot. I saw a video on this skip here. So while we go down to Pinwheel, let me tell you, I needed to play Dark Souls. I would constantly be watching videos, playing knockoff games, and it wasn't enough. So I rushed these bosses. Pinwheel's Pinwheel and dies in a shocking 5 hits instead of 2. But after this was literal hell. Literally my least favorite area in the whole game. I'd prefer Blighttown 10 times over rather than this. I seriously don't know what the idea was here, but Tomb of the Giants is awful, easily the worst part of the game for me. So I'm curious about your thoughts in the comments because I hate this place. The fact you can't see, cool gimmick, sure, but there's gotta be some more direction to go. For a new player, this was insane. I struggled on killing these 2 fat dudes because I was using the Skull Lantern and I couldn't parry them. Not that I can parry anyway. Anyways, I was here for one reason only. Nito. So I said to my guide, by the way, this guy here in the camera, this is Colton, my best friend since pre-K, and he knows a lot more about the Souls games than I do. So I enlisted him and my other good friend Scoops to help me out. Unfortunately, Scoops wasn't here yet, so instead I had Colton alone, and he straight up said to me, I beat Nito with sheer willpower because I hated the run back. And I realized, if he hated it, I'm not even going to make it there. To no one's surprise, I fell off the map more times than I should admit online, but I made it to Gravelord Nito and died. Almost instantly. Now it's important to note, I understood how some of these bosses worked for the most part. I knew Nito would have skeletons in there with him, but I didn't know he had 6. And I didn't know the big dudes were there too. So I died, complaining about the skeletons, but really, Nito was actually super easy to kill. For Lord Soul boss, he himself was non-threatening. The actual boss fight was the skeletons mobbing you while you run around and try to kill him. This was the confidence boost I needed. I defeated by far my most hated boss. I was out of my least favorite area in the game, and now it was on to the Duke's archives. I was excited for this place, mainly because Colton's brother said it sucked, but also it wasn't Tomb of the Giants. Anyways, this was harsh, mainly for the traversal. All the ads sucked and I didn't really understand where I was going. I also didn't understand why I was doing things. I think Colton took pity on me here because for this part, he basically told me what to do without telling me where to go. I was terrified and I think he just wanted to get to Seath as much as I did. So once we got there, I had the traversal. Guys, I was clueless. If I didn't have Colton here as my guide, I would have never figured this out on my own. It was awful, but a good awful, in a new fun kind of way, even falling a few times, but we got to Seath. I knew one thing about this boss before going in. He can curse you. For some quick background lore here, I was cursed all the way from after Blighttown through Quelaag and Ceaseless and back through Blighttown again. So I knew going into this, I could not let that happen again. I let it happen again. So I was cursed, and shout out to True Zeal from my chat for telling me the clams can drop a purification stone because I was not ready to travel back to the Undead Burg. And luckily with the 10% drop chance, I got one on my 3rd try and was able to cleanse. Back into Seath, I stayed on his side and popped some humanity for curse resistance, and Seath went down pretty easy. I thought this fight would be way harder than what it actually was, but it wasn't bad at all. Next up was the Bed of Chaos, and it was a new day. So we finally got Scoops back in here, and this was the following week, so I was super hyped to finally finish the game. Demon Fire Sage got stomped and Centipede Demon was a first try. I was super scared of him, but he was kind of easy. And on to Bed of Chaos, literally f this run back. I was determined not to have to do the run back. So I took out the left side first and died nearly 5 seconds later. Run back number 1 here, and oh my god, I am not doing this again. So I took out the right side with some intense parkour skills. Any ninja would be jealous. But then dude started spawn camping and I died. Alright, third run back. Let's do it. Now I was not missing this jump. I was not missing the middle jump, and oh, wait, I actually made it. I didn't get hit and I was able to take down the Bed of Chaos. The most surprising part about this fight was I didn't die more than the necessary amount of times. And with that, that's all the Lord Souls done. And I did run through the whole DLC before Gwyn, but if you want that video, that will be coming soon. For Gwyn, I was ready to parry him into a fire link. I died. I wasn't ready for his attacks to be so different. Round 2, same thing. I'm starting to think it's a me issue. And then I rolled off this beam, so this doesn't count. Round 3 and okay, am I doing something wrong? Clearly, yes. Clearly, it's me doing something wrong, right? Okay, on a serious note, Gwyn is supposed to be the easiest boss here. I genuinely died over 20 times to him. I don't know what it was, I just couldn't beat him. We tried everything. I tried the parrying dagger, killing him normally without parrying, and even throwing on Havel's armor to face tank him and try parrying that way. But I actually sucked at parrying so incredibly much. For the last 45 minutes of me playing Dark Souls, it consisted of me dying to Gwyn and running back. I had no idea what was happening. I could go on and on about how this fight took me 45 minutes, but just know I died a solid 24 times to Gwyn, and that's just the ones I counted. I was actually starting to crash out and I already lost the mental battle. I won't even show y'all all the deaths, just know I can't parry. End of story. I eventually did kill him by abusing one thing. I would dodge his entrance attack, parry him somehow, and then heal when he stood up, and he would do a slow kind of swing, so I could use the parry dagger and parry him pretty easily, even easily for me, and then I took him down at about 6 parries. So let's talk about my Dark Souls experience. Man, I truly love this game. I will definitely be playing them all, and I'm about to go on a generational run playing peak video games. So be sure to subscribe to join that journey. Man, I actually love this game. Some of the most fun I've had in video games ever. I am so excited to keep this going, and Dark Souls was a great place to start. I was so bad at the beginning of this journey, and now I was bad at the end. A poetic way to end things off on this journey, and I am so excited to go back through and play this game in many different ways. Overall though, I think my favorite fight might have to be Ornstein and Smo. I love the duo fights, and honestly going from gargoyles struggling to doing that my first ever try was insane to me. As for my least favorite boss, I know this might surprise you guys, but it's not Gwyn, even though I died the most to him. I would have to say Nito though. His skeletons are super annoying and his runback is absolutely the worst ever, even worse than Bed of Chaos in my opinion. Let me know in the comments what your favorite and least favorite boss fights in Dark Souls 1 are. My next Dark Souls video will be me using the most broken weapon in the game, so please subscribe to see that. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments what you'd like to see more from me, and if you did enjoy, I really appreciate it for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.